In this video, we're going to talk to you about the top-of-the-line Elna eXtend Covermax 5-thread cover stitch only machine. Let's take a look at the major features of this particular machine. The Elna Covermax is a 5-thread dedicated cover stitch only machine. It is the top of the line in the Elna line. There is more than one cover stitch machine in the Elna line, so feel free to take a look at our website or give us a call. We can tell you why this machine might be the right machine for you, or there could be another model that will work better for your needs. You will not find a machine that has more on it in a domestic machine than this particular model here. This machine will give you the 5 threads. You can sew with 2, 3, 4, or 5 threads. We can do a wider 3 needle, which will be 6 millimeter in our width. We can take 1 needle out, and it allows us to do the 3 millimeter wide cover stitch. On this particular machine, we can do the 3 needle, which lets me do the 6 millimeter width cover hem, or we can take 1 needle out to do a more narrow or a 3 millimeter width. On this particular machine, when I'm doing my chain stitch, I do have 3 different needle positions on this machine. If you'll notice, I do have a built-in needle threader, and I'm able to move my needle threader over to do the right, and then I can move my lever to do the middle needle, and then I can move it over to do the left needle. If you don't want to thread it yourself, you do have the built-in needle threader on top. And that's one thing about these machines. Don't let the 5 threads make this machine seem more complicated to operate. It's very simple because the machine is so large. It's a lot bigger than a standard machine will be. When we're opening the machine up to thread the looper, there's only one looper on this machine, and it's right here. It's right there in front, nice and neat. It's real easy for me to thread that. And once I'm finished, I can close this back up. Everything's color-coded for each tension. And then moving over to my needles, everything goes through the same channel to go to my needle, and then I have the built-in needle threader. It does come with a detailed instruction manual. It's very easy to operate, but Ken Sewing Center has technicians at our store. We have educators there that can help you with any kind of questions that you may have on this particular machine. Long after you get it from us, we can help you with all those type of things over the phone, or if you're in our store, you can stop by anytime, and we'll be glad to help you there. This machine has extra illumination on it. You have the LED lighting system, which will illuminate all around my needle, but if we need a little bit more, I do have another light built in here that it will go right down onto my needles where I'm needing extra light, and it's the soft LED light. So it's going to help me see the colors of fabric. It's going to help me see the colors of my thread. Another neat feature that's unique to the Covermax machines is the tension level control. We like to call it the TLC. It's an automatic threading tension adjustment when we're stitching from fine fabrics to standard fabrics. So that's going to allow me to just go back and forth if I'm having issues with skip stitches, especially when we're working with a stretcher material. That helps me to fine-tune my tension to get that right. Now, this feature is not available when we're doing the 5-thread triple cover. So with my 4, 3, or 2 needle, I'm able to use this, which you're going to be doing a big bulk majority of your time. This machine is super fast. It goes up to 1,000 stitches per minute. Now, other features on this machine, it will come already threaded at the factory, so if you want to pull that off and see how it goes through each thread guide, if you're changing colors, it's real easy for you to do that. It does have the adjustable pressure here that I can regulate the amount of force being pressed down onto my presser foot here. So those finer weight materials, those knits, and that's why you want a cover stitch machine. You're basically going to be using it all the time on stretching material, lighter weight materials. We can adjust that force, so I don't have to worry about the machine chewing it up or forcing it down in the feed dogs or anything like that. Now, another thing about this machine, I do have extra long feed dogs on this machine, and that's going to be so nice when I'm working with a lighter weight material. I can adjust the ratio of those feed dogs over here on this side of the machine with my controls, and we'll have more information on the website talking about each one of those and what they're used for. On the side of the machine here, I will have a little razor that I can rake my thread across when I'm coming off the back side. Another thing about this machine from other cover stitch only machines that's on the market, when I raise my presser foot up, it releases all my tension discs here. So I can easily pull my fabric through. When I lower it back down, just like your regular sewing machine, all my tensions are going to re-engage again onto the thread. And then that allows me to go right across my razor here. I do have the removable free arm here that exposes my free arm for doing cuffs of pant legs or shirt sleeves, things of that nature. And then the threading, as we showed you before, I can easily open the front of the machine up, and I will have other diagrams on the website showing you all the stitches it does, which needle thread is going on the stitch, where that portion of the stitch is at, so you can kind of get an idea of that. But there's just a few thread guides we have to go through to thread our looper, and we're done. So really, this machine is going to be really easy to operate. On this particular machine, there are several different stitches that I'm able to do because this one is a 5 thread. Because of that 5th thread, I'm able to do a triple top stitch, triple top cover stitch. You cannot get that on many machines on the market. When I go down to 4 threads, I'm able to do a top cover stitch wide, which basically is all my 3 needles is 6 millimeters in width. If I want to narrow that down, I can take out 1 needle. That drops it down to a narrow cover stitch. And that's when I have 4 threads threaded up. On my 4 threads as well, I'm able to do the triple cover stitch, which is all 3 needles in the machine fully threaded. I can go down to 3 threads, and I'm able to do a 3-thread cover stitch, 6 millimeters wide, or a narrow 3 millimeters wide. Also on this machine, I can go down to 2 threads, and that lets me do a 1 needle chain stitch. There's so many people have called us wanting to be able to do that particular stitch. Now you can do that on this particular machine. So it covers everything that's out there in one machine, and it's dedicated just for doing the cover stitch. Now let's do a little bit of sewing on this machine. I want you to listen how smoothly it sews. Very smooth running machine. It's full speed. That's my triple cover stitch. On knits, notice there's no puckering on that. There are a lot of specialty attachments that are made for this machine on the front here. Notice the 4 holes we have embedded into the top of the bed here. There are different binding attachments that we can get for this particular machine. We carry everything that's made for it, all the optional presser feet. There's different seam guides I can get that screws in right here. There are hemming attachments that we have available, different sizes of hemming attachments. There are different sizes of elastic presser feet that's available for this particular machine. There are other presser feet that are clear on the front, which gives me greater visibility. And there are other presser feet available for this machine that have guides on them to help me keep my fabric straight. And we will carry all that. And we can help you with the type of accessory or binder or presser foot that you need for this particular machine. On the Covermax, this particular machine gives you the larger thread stand on the back side here. You can use the bigger cones of thread. If you like using the 3,000 and 4,000 yard cones, they'll fit on this machine just fine. We carry several brands of thread for this particular machine. It can help you with that as well. The Ken Sewing Center is your authorized Elna dealer. We have technicians on standby 6 days a week to help you. We're just an email away. We check emails all the time. It can help you after hours with any kind of question that you may have. If you're in the Muscle Shoals, Alabama area, you do have free lessons for life. You can come to our store. If you're on the other side of the country, you still get free lessons for life. We can help you over the phone with all kind of questions, troubleshooting, because we're not just an internet company. We're a full sewing store. We have these machines set up on our retail showroom floor. We can go out in front of one of them and talk you through things over the phone, help familiarize yourself with the machine, answer any question that you may have. So feel free to drop us a phone call or give us an email anytime.